Hello, welcome back to the Red Dwarf Series 11 TV Review Podcast. No, I could not think of a shorter name in the meantime.
Stick with what you got.
Yeah, well, I can't have the Red Dwarf Cast or Red Dwarf Podcast.
No,
a lot of other people have got that already.
Yeah, can't use Dwarf.
Same with Sonic Boom. I can't do the Sonic Boom Cast. That's what been taken.
Yeah, people of much higher talent than us have got it, or just quicker than us.
Anyway, Series 11 episode for Officer Rimmer. Another theme this time is like they find another derelict or just a ship in the middle of space.
Yeah.
But this time we're trying to do this time there's no ship on board, there's no crew on the ship because there doesn't need to be. You got to get a bioprinter, which is probably the best physical gag I have seen in Red Dwarf so far.
I have to admit, when I saw that, I thought, like, really, they're using that joke, which I thought, like, how many jokes can you get out of that? And I was surprised. Oh, they got a few good ones out of this, actually.
Well, the nipples is still number one for me.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm surprised that, the fact that we're going with, yes, we're doing printing, except, like, normal printers, put paper in, put human in, pops it out.
Yeah, it is literally a large Canon or
your typical PC printer. Yeah.
Yeah, and tries considering Starbug is nearby, he says, "Okay, let's print the captain out." It gets jammed halfway through to the face. He's
well, that's the thing, because the gag of you see him like get his feet stuck out, and then he actually whacks it. He actually bangs his foot a few times when he gets out, and then you have the reveal of his head where he looks. He's like his face is. His eyes are like looking at the camera, and he lifts up, and you just see his face smeared upwards.
Yeah. Contact to Starbug, obviously.
Yeah.
Apparently, they know. He trying to contact. Apparently, he knows a lister, but we'll reveal that till later.
Yeah, we'll get to that bit.
And first of all, freaked out by everything.
I was going to say, what did you think of the effect of the guy's head? Were you like going, ugh?
It was like, what the fuck? But at the same time, I think there's been worse.
Yeah, there has been visually more disturbing things than that. Yeah.
But they contact, then Rimmer decides, let's fire a mining torpedo, which is probably the first we've seen of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen, like, Starbug got upgraded with the previous Starbug got upgraded.
It's had a laser cannon at one point, or at least a working one.
Yeah, and the Assyrians upgraded one. But again, that Starbug is dead.
Yeah, but that Starbug's long gone.
So they fire the torpedo, but it actually actually knocks to an asteroid and hits one of the thrusters, and that's okay. That's sorted everything out.
Yeah.
Because of that, the captain promotes Rimmer to officer.
Yeah. Well, basically, here's the gist: is that his ship is circling near an asteroid belt and near a sun. And basically, the options are they go on the ship and get rid of it, or get hit by the asteroid, or just leave him and him to die. And
but there's a very radioactive substance that can wipe out nearly everything in that sector.
Yeah, exactly. So Rimmer decides, screw it, just kill it, let's get it over with. Which, again, it's funny because you think about Rimmer. I mean, the character. I mean, first of all, it's been said he's a massive coward and stuff. Although he has inadvertently killed people in the past, so it's not too new for him to do something like this.
Yeah, but because of that action, he gets promoted to Officer Rimmer, and all of a sudden he becomes so self-centered.
Yeah, especially for someone who was desperate for many series, wanting to be more than what he was.
He turns everything into the grunts and officers. It's an officer corridor where you don't have to walk.
Yeah, he just puts a conveyor belt on the floor just for him.
Yeah, I don't want to walk. Walking is for pussies.
Well, again, we've seen the Sonic Boom is like, the conveyor belt's not working. Then walk! My taxes paid for this conveyor belt. So
pretty much, yeah.
So there you go. There's equal laziness on both different shows.
Yeah. Eventually, the captain comes onto the ship and promotes Rimmer from officer to lieutenant.
Yeah.
And then eventually he just biodegrades anyway.
Yeah, there's a great bit when he actually addresses the crew and he actually says, so this is the lister. And I'm keeping a look on you. And he actually tilts his head to get his eyes up near him. I love that. That was a great little visual gag.
Yeah. It just eventually the episode leads up to it's usually just Rimmer being a complete dickhead to a point where you just one of those people just want to punch for stop being such a selfish twat.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing, because Rimmer, let's be fair, this is a character who's been both a sympathetic loser and yet a egotistical asshole.
Yeah, as soon as everything goes towards him, it's always all about him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Although this episode did say... Sorry.
I would say when eventually Lister looks up all the people on the list, and turns out he's on the list of people to replicate.
Yeah, well, they find out that Dave Lister is somehow on the bioprinter because apparently a few years ago, for a packet of fags,
£100 £100 and a packet of fags.
Yeah, exactly.
For those who don't know, a packet of fags is basically a pack of cigarettes. Okay?
It's basically that.
We're British,
also,
fags mean cigarettes.
Yeah, also in this universe, $100 pounds is apparently the pound of the dollar are one, but that's Red Dwarf here. But yeah, apparently the idea is that they've been printing out listers for decades, and apparently one use of them has been as telephone prompters.
Yeah, so all those Scouser arseholes are all him.
So it's basically saying there's many Craig Charles out there just annoying you every other day. Oh dear.
More unlikely.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. We've met him anyway.
Yeah, but again, it's funny because I've had a lot of telephone prompters, and they've never sounded like Craig Charles. But who knows? Maybe in the future that might happen.
Eventually, Rimmer decides, you know what? Just print out a load of me, so we can have a me party in the officers' quarters.
Yeah.
And eventually, okay. Then eventually, where's the bioprint? Lister's asking where's the bioprinter, and just walks into the party. I remember, you know what? Make big security guard versions of me.
Yeah.
Eventually, the whole thing jams and makes amalgamation, which I haven't seen since SpongeBob.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, actually, one thing I forgot to mention in the last one, and particularly in this episode, is that we get to see the Scutters for the first time in, about a good few years now, not since Series 8.
Hmm.
And again, not counting the Back to Earth one, there was one in there, but that was a digital one. This is the physical, real thing. And it's kind of good to see them again after all this time.
Yeah, especially mobile ones.
Yeah. I mean, in this one, I
wonder if Paul Jackson and the rest of the crew actually still have the little mini Scutters from Series 2.
Oh, yeah, well, I think Paul does. Craig said he gave one to his kids and they broke it, so there you go.
Of course they would.
Yeah, well, this is Craig. He ends up breaking props all the time.
How long do you think it'll take him to break the prop?
Exactly, yes. That's Craig's natural talent. But yeah, I think these are probably the same ones they used from Series 8. They maybe just finally dust off, recleaned up, and now ready to be used again. I do like the visual of them. Rimmer's having a meeting with them to say, here's what I want you to do, and they've got tiny little worker hats on. That's a nice little gag. That's a nice little visual thing for them.
Yeah. Eventually, firstly, the amalgamation of Rimmers basically absorbs all your bio DNA of all the other Rimmers and wants to take out the real one. And it just drags him back, okay, this is what Rimmer does. And it's you got a to-do list? Always have a to-do list.
No, it's basically, do you have a pen? We always carry a pen.
And it's make sure you got one thing on there. What's that? Die. And it just ends there. The episode ends. It's where's the explosion?
I'll definitely get to that. But yeah, I want to talk a bit about the effects, because again, the idea of Rimmer having a clone version of himself, I mean, again, we've seen this way back in Series 1.
Yeah, actually, I was brought up, Chris Barry doing multiple versions of himself. That's nothing new. We've done this, this is the fourth time, I believe.
Probably. I mean, again, whether it's just a copy of Rimmer or an alternative version of Rimmer at some point. But this time, I mean, the difference being is that, I will be the head guy, basically.
Yeah. Because remember the episode, Me Square was just two of him.
Yeah.
Then there was Rimmer World.
Yeah.
And then there was Blue, where he had there was a singing.
The munchkins of them, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's surprising because I was kind of surprised whether they were going to do the whole them all rebelling against Rimmer, which surprisingly they didn't. They just all sort of act, all sort of they just want to do their own thing really. In fact, there's a bit where Crichton and Kat are talking to the real Rimmer, and he looks on the guest list, and they're all just different types of Rimmers, and they just keep walking in like
Rimmer Party of 3, Rimmer Party of 2, Rimmer Party of 4.
Yeah, and there's even one where he just sort of walks in, stretches himself, just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And the Rimmer Quartet.
And the Rimmer Quartet, yes, let's talk about the Rimmer Quartet.
Rimmer.
Basically, we got, it's basically Mr. Sandman done, but replacing it with Mr. Rimmer, if you may please, That's the first song we've had in a while, actually, in Red Dwarf. We haven't had a new, comedy song in the show for a long time.
Yeah, not since Blue. I don't think we had one since Blue.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's that long, and you kind of think to yourself, Red Dwarf has had a history of, having little funny songs every now and again. I mean, even Series 2 had, Androids, which is just neighbours. And I'm also guessing that this wasn't Chris Barry singing, this was Howard Goodall again, because apparently when they did Blue, Chris couldn't sing, so Howard had to do the actual singing voice of Rimmer.
One of the little visual gags as well is that the security system is the game of Pac-Man.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's that little gag, which I'll bring up something else later on. But yeah, getting back to the Rimmer, the monstrous Rimmer, which is, we'll put it this way. I mean, the best thing, it's basically like the curry monster from DNA, except this one's obviously homaging the Thing. An absorbing creature with all these hideous, malformed versions of a person.
Yeah. I'm surprised that you managed to get his face on all of them.
Yeah. Well, some of them, I do know this, again, this was done, the practical effects again were done by Millennial Effects, both this, Captain Herring, that was the guy with the smear head, and the, the Rimmer monster. Some of them were dummy heads of Chris Barry. Some of them were cropped on afterwards, they green screened his head and then put it on the body afterwards. And then a lot of them were fake arms or other people's arms and legs running around.
Yeah, but overall, I think the episode is 2.5. It's good, but Chris Barry's Rimmer's just basically just selfishness, just really great.
I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, I did think, again, I thought with the Be Multiple Rimmers, I thought we were going to get another Me Square thing, but I have to admit, again, the fact that we ended up with a Rimmer monster, I will admit that was kind of the typical, okay, I didn't expect that to happen, but I'm giggling all the way.
Especially when it growls.
Yeah, it's yeah. But yeah, we should talk about the ending, because the weird thing is, I will say most of the episodes in this series, the way they end is mostly on a joke, and most of them have not been that funny, but, at least they end. They're okay, the episode...
Yeah, it's we're talking about something, but doing the exact opposite.
Yeah, we're doing, here's the round off the episode, or here's a little tie-in thing to finish it all off. This one... Well, the fact is that it ends with them having to capture, basically lure it out with actual Rimmer and then shoot it, which I remember watching it thinking, is there still enough time for this? Because I was thinking to myself, wow, this feels like this should have gone on a bit longer.
Yeah, it just ends. Even my wife was watching it with me. She's not a big fan. I just kind of forced her to watch it if I agreed to watch Sailor Moon with her.
Yeah, all right.
So, and she was like, oh, where's the explosion? I want an explosion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would have thought, if it was me, I would have done it as in, you have the explosion, and you just have maybe one of the fake Rimmer's heads splattered on the camera and just squeezed off,
Yeah.
I mean, that at least would have been a funny way to end it. But, yeah, it just ends with them shooting at it, not really seeing it destroyed. It sort of just cuts to the credits, which is really weird for Red Dwarf, because it normally has, something here's the ending joke or punchline to finish it off with. This one is just stops. Yeah,
it's still a 2.5 stars in my book for this series so far. Yeah, it has some good jokes, but Rimmer really gets on your nerves to a point. You just feel sorry for the rest of the crew.
Yeah, well, the fact is that you do see them. Actually, one thing is we do see a lot of the dwarf actually in this episode. I mean, we get to see the bad end of the ship and the high end of the ship as well.
Yeah, it kind of split down the middle. There's the officers' lift, and it's just all swanky hubba-bubba stuff.
Being in
and the grunt lift, the service lift, is just full of junk, and we have an AI who's just What do you want?
Yeah, what do you want? I'm busy. You know, like it's such typical, you know, lazy northernist lady.
There's officers' quarters. What? Officer quarters. Speak out loud. Officer quarters. Hey, don't get mad at me.
Yeah. It's just, you gotta help me. There's a deranged maniac out there. There's one right in here, my son.
There's one right in here, love.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, the continuing theme of this series is in all the JMC products and machinery are all just jerks in some ways.
Yeah. What would you give this out of 5 anyway?
Again, I say another 3. I mean, I felt this was good enough. I do think, again, I'm definitely laughing more in these later episodes. I mean, that, again, is my main concern of this series is like, is it still funny? I mean, it's still got enough ideas for them to keep going through them, which is good. But, again, for a sitcom, it has to be funny. That's the most important factor. And luckily, it still manages to make me laugh. Again, the argument of, well, compare it to like Series 6 or Series 4 or whatever. It's like,
or even Series 10 right now is still equal or just slightly better than Series 10.
Yeah, I definitely say it's an improvement of Series 10. If anything else, this is definitely, it has the same vibe as that, but it just feels slightly more tighter this time around.
There's one question as well on Life brought up. It's like, if this supposed to be a hologram, have they explained why he ages?
We'll put it this way, they got a mechanoid as well, and yet he seems to keep changing his body every now and again.
Yeah, Series 10, he had rings on his shoulders, now he doesn't have them anymore.
Yeah, exactly, he's got a completely different outfit on, which...
I would put that down to, okay, what's the theme this month? Is it grey rectangles or grey triangles?
Yeah, well, in reality, it's more like, okay, how much weight have you got on yourself?
Okay.
It's like,
should I put the white caps on or take them off and leave the colourful LEDs there?
Yeah. Which, yeah, apparently when they did the Series 6, Crichton was meant to have coloured up LEDs, which they did work once, and then I think Craig touched them and they never worked again.
Typical Craig.
Typical Craig. Typical Craig. A man with no fear and danger to props.
Yeah. Next week, I don't know what the episode title is called.
Well, no, because next time it's Crisis. This happens to be the episode I saw back in November, so
you get a viewer's perspective and an audience perspective.
Yeah, so you'll get to So if any of you see my before thoughts, I'll probably will do an after one as well. But rest assured, I will be doing a review with this guy as well, because.
And if you're watching the episode, you might hear him laugh.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna keep my ear out for that. Definitely.